Hey everyone, back with another video, short and sweet one again. Yeah, this is part of our short and sweet series, I guess. A lot of interesting topics to cover. This one today about Microsoft price impacts. A lot of things happening in the licensing space right now. It's been quite a busy summer, quite a busy year so far with some of these announcements. So yeah, we felt that it was the right time to do a video about this for people who like to listen to these things on demand. As with everything, the information that we receive, we immediately release on our LinkedIn page. So follow us there and sign up to our newsletter if you want to know more in-depth details or backgrounds or our own personal opinions, because we share a lot more in our newsletter. But for this video, yeah, let's just dive right in and talk about the recent Microsoft pricing updates that we feel you should know about. First and foremost, obviously, we're going to talk about the end of the EA volume discounts for online services, but we're also going to talk about CSP updates that have been done over the past months, the year, and some of the on-prem pricing adjustments that we've seen and gathered. So yeah, the volume discount at the ending. So as of November 1st, 2025, the waterfall pricing for Microsoft's cloud services, online services, will be removed. So if you are a level B, C, or D customer and you have an enterprise agreement, those prices, those base prices, are no longer available. Everything will default back to level A, which for level B customers mean a 6% price hike. For level C customers mean a level 9% price hike, and for level D customers mean approximately 12% price hike. Yeah, as a starting point. So your next negotiation, either your new enterprise agreement renewal or any products that you want to add, new products you want to add to your enterprise agreement, will be based on this new pricing structure from Microsoft. So having said that, no more automatic seat-based discounts, and potentially all your savings that you might attain will depend on negotiation, growth. Are you buying the interesting pearls that Microsoft is offering, and potentially partner leverage if there's even a thing in the coming years. Negotiation, also a difficult topic. We see that Microsoft, based on these new moves, is also becoming more strict on the discounting principles that they have. I feel like the discounting principles that they had based on the waterfall pricing will have received already maybe an entire makeover. And yeah, it remains to be seen how Microsoft is going to deal with this from a practical standpoint. I can imagine that if you're a Fortune 500 company, this is not something that will phase you, because yeah, you'll just go with your purchasing power to Microsoft and tell them, funny that you're going to think that I'm going to pay 12% more, but let's try this again. So that whole negotiation thing might still be possible for the largest of the companies out there in the world, but I feel like if you're a smaller enterprise or a bigger mid-sized company, it will become more difficult. So yeah, what we can say to that is investigate your alternatives. One of those alternatives being CSP. Microsoft is obviously not sitting still there. So currently you can buy 3-year term licenses for M365, E3, E5, and some associated products like Teams and E5 security and compliance, if I'm not mistaken. So you can lock those prices in for a longer term, for 3 years, and basically, get a similar term of pricing threshold in CSP that you have in the enterprise agreement, and that you can potentially get in MCAE as well. Another thing that is interesting to call out, if you're still eyeing Copilot for M365, there's a 15% promotion that you might want to take advantage of. No commitments required, so you can just start and test out a Copilot license within your organization. Obviously, try and find the use cases first before you do anything. But yeah, it might be good to get started in the CSP program with Copilot rather than adding it to your enterprise agreement. And this was already announced half a year ago, but if you are currently in CSP purchasing annual subscriptions but paying on a monthly basis, with your renewal coming up for your annual subscriptions, you will see a 5% price premium, meaning that it might make more financial sense to pay that annual subscription upfront for the entire year rather than monthly, unless you are able to hedge those at a better rate than that 5% premium that Microsoft is going to ask from you. Now, additionally, over the past months, some adjustments were made on the on-premise old school licenses that Microsoft is offering. Yeah, those still exist. People still buy those. There's a lot of companies that deal with those. So July 1st, Microsoft announced a 10% uplift in Exchange, SharePoint, and Skype, mainly having to deal with the latest point that I will talk about in a sec. But the month after, they also increased the client access license suites by 15 to 20%. And yeah, if you're still purchasing those will become increasingly less interesting for you to buy, making sure that you are going to move to the Microsoft Cloud licenses. Yeah, you can basically do so and still continue to do most of the things that you're doing on-prem, but do investigate if it's a valid alternative to purchasing on-prem licenses. And because Microsoft is pushing you in that direction with these price increases, but maybe not all that you are doing on-prem is available through licensing them as cloud licenses. Subscription editions for Exchange and Skype are now available. That was something that has been announced a while back, but now they have been released. So Exchange and Skype, you don't buy those as a license with software assurance anymore, but you can basically now get them as a subscription license. What does it all mean? The new Microsoft licensing reality that we are facing right now means that there are no more automatic waterfall discounts. So if you want to maintain your current pricing standards, negotiation is key. And preparing for your negotiation is key, and making sure you have the right arguments aside from you shouldn't have removed the waterfall pricing discounts. Make sure you have a compelling story why you need to maintain the current pricing levels that you have without pointing at a one-sided change that Microsoft has done, because what will the Microsoft sales teams do? They will simply tell you, it wasn't me, it was the big bad boss. I'm just here to give you the news. I'm not sure I can do anything about this for you. So you need to come with the correct story, and creating that narrative and creating the right negotiation strategy is becoming more important. Even though the negotiation itself might become more difficult, there's still a lot of things to gain from a good preparation. CSP positioned as flexible EA alternative. In another video, I've already talked about it. Do always do your work around a viable CSP alternative, either fully migrating to CSP or seeing it as an extra layer on top of your EA, where you can say, okay, fine, Microsoft, you're doing this. I'm gonna switch to a more flexible alternative in the enterprise, from the enterprise agreement to the CSP program. Yeah, and as I said on the previous slide, on-prem customers are nudged towards subscription / cloud licenses instead of purchasing the on-prem software assurance licenses. Now, as a call to action, or maybe concluding, say goodbye to the EA waterfall discounts, reevaluate CSP, prepare for on-prem cost increase. And as always, what I want to end with is, if you require a service of a independent advisory firm, we are here to help you. We do this on a daily basis. We can quickly explain all these different alternatives and what they can mean for you. All we need is an initial conversation, and you need to be willing and able to share your current product set, mix, and prices with us. And we can happily help you quote any alternative that might be out there and compelling for you. Now, with that, we've come to the end of this video. Hope you found this useful, and yeah, as always, thanks for watching, and see you next time.